there. Except you did, if you're watching on YouTube now. Welcome to the first video recorded episode of Inattention Podcast. I forget what the name of this was for a second there. I guess I'm really holding up to the name. Got to keep the brand spirit alive. Welcome back to the third episode. Thank you very much for coming back. I hope you have a good time here today. My name is Seth, and I'd like to start out by shouting out a little album called Magdalena Bay. That's the name of the artist, actually. And the album itself is called Mercurial World. I forgot for a second there, too. Like I said, gotta keep the brand spirit alive. I've been listening to it a lot recently. I really, really recommend this if you're into like synth pop, stuff like MGMT. I love MGMT, or other artists that do synth pop, such as here's a list coming down the screen of all the synth pop artists, including myself someday, once I finally release any of the music I'm actually working on. I've especially been listening to the song Cherry. Got a little snippet I'll be playing in the background here, as well as Secrets later on, because you want some good-ass production. Check out Secrets, parentheses, Your Fire, close parentheses, as in the possessive, not You Are Fire. Because nothing has sounded quite so good in recent memory as that song. I'd also like to shout out Mac Miller, rest in peace. It's been over 2 years now since he died, if I remember correctly. And wow, I've been listening to his music a lot more recently. His new Faces EP, his old Faces EP got re-released on Apple Music, and it's really good. Really good. Speaking of really good production, Good AM, another album I've been listening to. Grandkids on that is so good. So good. And Circles, of course. Gotta shout out Swimming. Divine Feminine, I haven't looked into it quite as much recently. But let's move on past me just listing off every single Mac Miller project. I mean, hey man, Donald Trump, that song is still a banger. It even samples one of my favorite artists, Sufjan Stevens. His song Vesuvius is the sample in the background of that, and I think it's used really, really well. I want to move in today to a little bit of a story time. Now, I like to dub this story A Tale of Sills and Signatures. Inspired mostly by J.R.R. Martin, the guy that writes A Game of Elves, A Game of Thrones. I work right now for a window cleaning / gutter cleaning / pressure washing business. And a lot of the times I'll be working inside the homes of people that come to buy our services. You encounter a lot of interesting characters cleaning the insides of their homes. Now, when someone comes up to you and says, hey, I'm gonna watch you like a hawk, metaphorically speaking. I'm gonna make sure that you don't break anything. It's like, hey man, I get it. You don't want me to fuck up your home. Fair enough. But sometimes it's a bit condescending. On Tuesday of this week, I went to this woman's house. She's the last job for the day. And luckily, it wasn't a huge one. I had 2 guys working on the outside of the house while I was working on the inside. And people can be very particular about window sills. You don't want the water drippage on there. You don't want you don't want the wood damaged. Speaking of damaged wood, I'll get back to that later. Gotta keep them waiting. But I think I was on the 4th window or so inside of this woman's house. And I knew she was going to be interesting. When she rolled up to me outside of her house, we rolled up and then she rolled up, metaphorically speaking. and starts describing, oh, I don't want you doing this, I don't want you doing that, I want you doing this, but in a neurotic kind of way. I get it. Like, sometimes I'm a bit of a neurotic dude myself, but the insistence of a neurotic person can feel like I'm not sure if you're trying to watch out for my safety or you're going to have a heart attack and try to murder me if I do something wrong. She didn't want us going up on her roof because she had skylights. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure, we will not do that. She's like, no, I don't want you up on my roof. I'm like, lady, pardon me. Look at the words I just said. That says spooky on the board there, but the words I just said with my own two lips smacking in your ears just said, sure, yeah. Oh, I totally hear what you're saying. We're not going to touch those. That's all right. But on the inside of the house, I'm starting to do a couple windows. I mop that shit up. I squeegee it off like the pro gangsta window washer that I am, you know? And I get the edges of the windows wiped down. Now, if you've never washed a window with a big old mop and squeegee, what you got to do is you got to wipe down the edges of the window, and then after that, you just wipe down the sills around it. And this woman was standing smack right behind me at the time. And when I was done wiping this down, she kind of gives me a look and says, now, if I remember correctly, that water on my windowsill wasn't there before you washed that. I was like, ma'am, there are only two of us here. You don't gotta give me this weird back and forth crap right now. You don't gotta give me this facade. I know what you want. You can just tell me, hey, there's water on my windowsill. And I'll tell you, hey, I know. I was about to get to it. Thank you. Thank you for noticing what I was literally about to do. Thank you for that. But I get it, man. I get it. You want your house to look nice. I mean, clearly for my YouTube watchers, I am in the lap of luxury right now. I know how important it is to be living the good life. Luckily, I kind of go around the rest of the place. You know, when some of my partners come in, I give them the warning that I'm like, hey, watch out for the sills because she might decapitate you if you're not quite careful enough. She might wipe you down. I don't know what that means. Let's pretend I never said that. She might give your ass a wiping down if she don't like what she sees. We get later on to the end, and I'm about to be like, hey, I got to go grab the paper outside for you to sign. We'll be on our way. And she's like, oh, that's good. I'll just be sitting here reading this article in Newsweek about a man that tried to buy a bomb in Pakistan back in the whatever because he said that he wanted Pakistan to have their own bomb because if India can have their bomb, and you know, this was after they got colonized by this place and before the separation of this and that. I'm like, thanks for the history lesson, I guess. And the woman kind of wraps it up with, you know, something about how you gotta handle all this crazy BS in the world. And I'm working around boomers a fair amount, you know. This woman looks like she's 70, maybe even a little older. So you're gonna run into some iffy things. And in this situation, I wasn't quite sure what direction it was going in. Sometimes we roll up to a place and they have like a Biden thing or a Trump yard sign. Never see a Bernie one. Never see a Bernie one. No surprise there. But she didn't have any sort of indication that I could see and roll with. Nothing that I could look at and say, hey, I'm getting the vibe of what's going on right here. I know what's going down. So I kind of do my go-to phrase of kind of giving them a casual agreement that I'm like, yes, yes, whatever you just said, you got it. You got it. Right on the nose, sir. Right on the nose. I just kind of said something along the lines of, oh, I'm just kind of learning to cope with it as I get older. Like, I don't know, cope with the world getting crazy. Hopefully she's not trying to say coping with the Pakistanis, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt in this situation. It's probably okay. Hopefully, maybe. I can't make a value judgment, honestly. So I come back inside with the clipboard and I'm like, hey, just sign on the X right here and we'll be on our way. We'll give you your copy. She's like, oh, great. And I had to fill out all this information on this slip, like her address, phone number, name, what work we did. And she starts insulting my handwriting. She's like, oh, kids you days. Oh, I can hardly even read your handwriting. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that fun? I didn't think we had to make it like a personal thing, but okay. You know? Gonna school me on how much we need to learn cursive in school again? So we can read what? We can read Shakespeare in its original prose, complete with all the misspellings of what we currently use in modern English. Because all of children should really just be archaeologists for what the boomers want. We gotta survive, maintain this one era specifically from 1930 to like 1960. That's the peak. That's what we gotta preserve. Once the Beatles come in, all hell breaks loose. You don't know what to do then. Oh man. I was gonna say something. But I was like, why not just pick my battles right now? Why not just put none of my energy into this at all? So I'm just kind of like, heh, yep. Hee hee, yep. That's how you deal with them. That's how you deal with old people when you don't know what to say. Haha, I agree with you. Your worldview, sir. Your worldview, ma'am. No non-binary people in the boomer generation, practically. Very, very little. But sir and or ma'am, your worldview, that's where it's at. What you just said? Hilarious, astute, and original. Thank you very much for your time. Oh boy. But I promised a little bit more about wet sills. I recently took out my AC unit because it's already late October. I have a feeling that if another 100-degree week is just going to hit me out of the blue in the next couple months, I might as well just die of heat stroke at that point because we're fucked. So I decided, yeah, it's pretty safe. You can come down now. You can come down. Come down from that ledge, my friend. You would capsize from all the lies that we've been living in. I would understand. Okay. I apologize. I have my sincerest apologies. But I was thinking, my microwave in my shower. Why was I thinking of that? No. My shower in my bathroom right over here in my glamorous studio apartment has this lovely feature of having a window right in it. Now, it's like I do appreciate another opportunity for airflow, especially where it's most needed. But there's just like not one small like frosted glass thing going on here. What we got is just like a whole set of 2 windows, storm windows, screens, everything, just smack dab, like 1.5 feet right above the bathtub edge in my shower here. So when I'm taking a shower, we have on one side the shower curtain. Everyone's favorite. Everyone knows and loves a good shower curtain. My best friend is a shower curtain, actually. And on the right side, what we have is a little nice thing called another curtain, another shower curtain for just the window. And it's not exactly flush, you know? Wind currents, especially, make it not exactly flush. So that when I'm standing in the shower, especially when I'm like trying to wash off my hair, which I haven't done in the last 24 hours, I'm pretty sure, as you can probably tell. My eyes are closed and I just have this blood-sucking creature of a shower curtain latching onto me like a fucking leech. It's like, oh, thank you, thank you. I hope you have a very prosperous breed of offspring from my blood that you've sucked out of my body here. You heartless wench. Oh. Because in this shower that we have right over here, there's like 3 feet of space. It's not exactly the largest thing. Like I said, I'm living in a studio apartment right now. So at the end of the day, I just end up with the strangest feeling of a wet, sloppy hand trying to grab onto me every time I close my eyes in the shower. It's really delightful stuff. Really delightful. Yeah, really delightful stuff. But I was thinking, you know, we got that sill there that I got to protect. Otherwise, I wouldn't keep that fucker in there for the first 5 minutes I moved in here. I would have ripped that thing out if it weren't for the stupid windowsill made out of wood that I got to keep not wet. Oh, so thankfully, I was like, here presents an interesting opportunity. AC window unit meet shower window. How would that turn out, huh? You know? Sure, only a few minor extreme electrical burns would result. But you know, I'm in the shower. You just wash that shit right off right away. And maybe the AC unit's wind will just blow all the water right off that little annoying sill right there. Take care of all my problems. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. For your life. At least my electrical bill will probably go down now. I just have to wait to figure out when they're going to turn on my furnace because I don't control the temperature in my apartment. All I have is a buzzer and a fridge, and that's basically the 2 main points of interest in my apartment. What I'd like to do now is toss it over to a little conversation I had with my friend Ren.
Well, what would you like to know, sir?
Now, I don't know if you have signed the release forms or anything, but
Release form? The hell are you talking about?
for those fights you got into in high school.
Oh,
How many? Can you like give an estimate of how many fights you got into in high school?
in high school? Look, 0.
0?
I'm not lying. No, yeah, 0. I toned down. I got into a couple arguments, but I didn't get into any fight.
Some verbal altercations.
I just kicked somebody down the stairs, but I don't consider that a fight.
Yeah. That's more like a Julius Caesar Brutus moment. You're just like shoving him, or like 300, if you want a dated reference.
I mean, I was ready to fight. I was ready to pounce if he wanted to, but he didn't. He wasn't ready for all that.
Oh, what was the build up to that? Why did you what did you kick him in the back? How did this work? You were behind him on the stairs, right?
Yeah. You know what happened, don't you? Of why we got into argument?
I can't recall.
So, I was doing my work because I remember it was the last class I had. It was in 10th grade. I think it was the first semester, actually. I remember all of it. And, I was doing my work, and I already kind of had problems with him before. But it was kind of joking around, but it was still he was getting on my nerves, and we kind of argue. But this one, I was like, the hell? Because I seen a gum wrapper just get thrown my way. And mind you, I was in 10th grade, so
he threw a gum wrapper at you.
I was in 10th grade, so, I was ready to argue.
You were ready to throw hands.
I was. And I was kind of a diva. 2.0.
2.0. Did you have a diva 1.0 stage?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of at that stage now where I'm kind of toning down a bit. But back then, I was a lot more crazy. So I kind of said something to him because I looked at him and I forgot. I think I was I don't know how it went, but we just started arguing. And he was trying to make fun of me. He was trying to I don't know, seemed like he was trying to question my masculinity. Just kidding. It seemed like he was trying to put on the front in front of the class, though.
He was like kind of trying to flex his muscles.
Yeah, and I was like, the hell? What are you trying to do that for? There's no reason for none of that. We were just trying to do our work and get going because I know it was a weekend. But he was trying to start with me, and I was not having it. So we started going back and forth, and then I forgot how it went. I remember there was like a water bottle involved, and he was thinking I wasn't gonna throw it at him, and I did.
Oh my God.
I was just like splashing the water on him.
You're like a priest, like dousing him with holy water to remove the demon out of him.
We were really just going at it. And then like I remember telling him, I was like, okay, so when we got out of class, let's fight then. And then he was like, okay. So I was like, okay, I'll remember that when we were at the end of the class. I'm gonna see where you're at and we're gonna fight. So we ended up walking outside. And he acted like nothing happened the whole time. And he was sitting there not even looking at me. And he was sitting there just kind of smiling. And all of a sudden I was like, okay. So when he was walking down the stairs, he had a little bit to go, so I just kicked him. And
So what do you have? Like 2 stairs left, 3? How much are we talking here?
yeah, about 3 or 4. Couple.
Okay. It's like that's a solid amount. It's like he's not on the last step. It's not nothing, but it's not like you're kicking him from the top.
It was more so everybody was just looking at him.
So you guys were walking out. Were you on your way to go fight, or what happened?
No, we walked out, and then I kind of just followed him. And that kind of makes it seem like I'm the bully at the end of the day, but it's not like that. I was just trying to tell him to keep the same energy.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to keep the same energy.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
It doesn't seem like a situation where you're just walking up to some random guy and saying, like, I'm going to pick on you. It seems like there was some previous beef going on in here.
I mean, it wasn't that serious, but I'm like, I just want you to keep the same energy when I left.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to keep it.
You have no fucking clue. I could just be completely fucking up your audio right now. I'm just editing your words around, making you say stuff you've never said.
You know they do that on the Bad Girls Club.
The Bad Girls Club.
Have you heard of that show?
What is the Bad Girls Club?
It's a show I used to watch when I was like in high school. That's where I got a lot of my issues from. But it's just shady on the producer's part because there would be like things that they said in the confessionals, and the producers would mix it up and have them say certain things when it was aired on TV. So they'd like kind of start their own plot, and like the girls would kind of think, "Oh, I was betrayed this way," or "This went down this way."
I've heard that's a pretty common problem in a lot of reality TV, like in not Orange County, one of the like Jersey Shore type shows, stuff like that, especially.
Oh yeah.
Like, have you ever seen The Bachelor? I feel like that's
I have seen a little bit of it.
Like, how much do you think?
A couple clips at least.
I would say the same.
I do it when I want to be feisty.
Feisty? How do you define feisty?
When I'm ready to get into an argument, kind of like when we're driving and I'm kind of just talking out my mouth and I'm yelling at the people.
Average day of driving, how many times do you think you honk?
It depends if I'm tired or not.
That does make a big impact.
It does, because if I'm tired, I kind of just don't care. But like, for instance, there was like 2 lanes, right? And I was on the way left lane, right?
Yeah.
And he was on the right lane. And then like the very last minute, he was trying to make a turn, but I wouldn't let him do it.
And why wouldn't you let him do it, right?
I was just kind of being an asshole. But I'm like, look, you had ample amount of time to do it. You want to do it now, it's too late. So then somehow he got in the back of me because he just waited. And like, he looked at me through the mirror and he kind of like put his arms up and shrugged at me. And I kind of stuck the middle finger up through the mirror.
My mom sometimes gets angry when driving. Definitely nowhere near you. Probably not as like a slight, just as a comparison thing. She will get angry sometimes, but it's not super often. But my dad, he would do this thing a lot. You know, the crazy eye. And you just kind of get that look like, I might start doing something I might regret in a second.
Yeah. That's how it is though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's how I am most of the time. I kind of look at the people when I'm driving because I'll speed up
Yeah.
and I'll still look at them through the side of the window. Even if they're not looking at me, I just kind of want to see what they look like.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to remember this face.
Right? I'm just over there looking like, all right, one more down to go. I'll find out where they live and I'll kill them. Just kidding. That sounds so.
That's obviously, I think it's good to stress that that's obviously a joke.
I don't know if it's a joke or not. Just kidding.
I love the delivery on that. Especially the just kidding right afterwards.
It might not be a joke. I'm still trying to figure it out.
You know, you do make some convincing statements, and I can't always tell whether or not you're telling the truth or you're lying.
It's because I have a poker face? Or is it just my tone of voice?
I think it's a good combination of both. I think you might be good at the poker table.
Well, you know what my dad finally said?
What?
I kind of felt a certain way about it, but then I didn't. He said he can't tell if I'm high or not anymore. I mean, I got the job done, but was it worth it?
What do you mean by that?
Because I'm like, I always wanted to make sure that I was able to help to hide it well enough.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he said he wasn't happy about it. But I'm like, I don't know if I care or not. So I'm like, at least you're able to leave me alone now about it.
I remember when I was in, I think, my sophomore year of high school, I was starting to try to like fit in with people that were like smoking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing I ever bought related to it was this thing on Amazon called the spark plug.
The heck?
And if you unscrew it in a few spots, it can become like a pipe, but like a really tiny one.
The hell?
Made out of metal, which is not a good idea. And the thing is, I didn't know how to use it. The first and I think only time I ever tried to legitimately use it when smoking that illicit substance was I think the first time I bought it, I just took a chunk of it and I just kind of shoved it in the pipe. Just an entire chunk, just an entire nug of it, and put it in and tried to light it. I kind of smushed it in with my finger because it was small, and I was like, "Why isn't it working?"
What the heck? What were you expecting?
I was expecting it to just burn, I guess. Just smushing it in there.
Look, I don't know.
I previously had tried to smoke black tea because I heard that you could smoke it online and it would feel some type of way.
Oh, what did it feel like?
I don't know. I just read that it was supposed to maybe possibly get you high.
What? Off of black tea?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like, I feel like maybe someone got the idea because it has caffeine in it, but nothing happened. But it did kind of smell like weed. And I had loaded a black tea bag. I unloaded it and I put it into the pipe. And then I sat in my bathroom at my mom's house with the window cracked open. I tried to smoke it.
Just put it in the pipe.
Well, I did put it in the pipe and it didn't work very well. Nothing happened.
Can't you just break it out of it and put the grounds into the pipe?
I did.
Oh, you did?
I took the tea out of the tea bag.
Oh.
And then I put that into the pipe.
Did you say that? Look. Get with me.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just finish this really quick.
I...
So my mom came downstairs and she asked if I was smoking weed.
Oh.
Because apparently the black tea smelt similarly to weed. And I was like, no, it's black tea. But I also had a mug of tea sitting on my desk. So my mom went to put her nose over the tea and smell it and then went back to me and just, it's like she didn't believe me.
I would have been like, what the heck? I don't know. I would have questioned my whole entire existence at that moment.
How often do you question your existence?
I question it all the time.
Haha, wasn't that funny? I hope you like abrupt endings because no, we didn't transition out of that. We didn't even like really end it. We just kind of got tired and fused. Thank you. This is very high production. Before I sign off today, I'd like to give you a little sneak preview of what my first YouTube video is going to be on my new YouTube channel. I'll be linking it in the next episode of this podcast. I'm going to be doing, won't you see, a bit of a review of strange ads. One in particular that kind of knocked my socks off by being completely inappropriate for any ages at all on YouTube. But one I saw recently was an Instagram ad. Now, if you've seen, Danny Gonzalez's great videos, not Drew Gooden, definitely not Drew Gooden. Danny Gonzalez is the one I'm talking about. He did an amazing video, too, actually, about buying things on Instagram, and largely, they're disappointing. I guarantee it. One time I bought a couple shirts on Instagram. I loved the designs of them, really. But they felt like a complete torture to wear. Like I wanted to rip my skin off the whole time I was wearing them. One of them, the design said, nice boys finish last, good boys finish last. And it was like some demonic dogs, and I thought the design looked really cool. And then I realized that if I wear that in public, maybe some people might think I'm an incel. So probably not a good idea to give people the right impression, if that's at least my goal. Now, if I want to look like an incel, I have the perfect wardrobe for it. But recently I saw an ad for something that's going to revolutionize the ear cleaning industry. Even though, everyone uses Q-tips, we're not technically supposed to put them in our ears. I used to a lot, and now I'm deaf. I can't hear anything. That's why I started a podcast. I thought it was the perfect medium for someone like me. I shouldn't joke about that. But I saw an ad for the newest technological advancement. Now, I swear, this stuff must be coming straight out of Apple. It's revolutionary, I tell you. It was rose gold ear cleaning picks. Pretty confident in saying that I don't really want to reuse an ear pick pretty much ever. But the fact that it's rose gold really tempts me. It really brings up an offering. It really tells me that, hey, you should buy this quick because this is going to become very overpriced in eBay resellings, just like the rose gold iPhone and Macs and whatnot. I don't really know what the obsession with rose gold is. To my understanding, it's just like a slightly different shade of metal. But people go crazy. And I can't blame them because it looks nice. It's just a nice basic pink hue. But I'm not going to buy ear picks. Well, first of all, second of all, I'm not going to buy ear picks off an Instagram ad. Because that's just asking for indigestion? That's not the right word. That's just asking for hearing problems of some sort. Bacterial infection, something like that. I'm not trusting it. But trust me. No, look at that segue. In my next YouTube video, these ads are going to be much worse. They're not going to be good. They're going to be very bad, in fact. Kind of the whole appeal of the video. And a very original concept at that. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to the first recorded episode of the podcast. I mean, first video recorded one. To the best of my knowledge, the first two were also recorded. But episode 3, I hope you enjoyed it. Look at all this space I have to walk around. I can even walk out of frame if I want to be a dumbass. I can walk over in this corner. Whoa. Sorry, you're really missing out, audio listeners. Thank you for tuning in sincerely. I'm really excited to keep working on this project. I know it's infinitesimally small right now, but it's giving me something to focus on while the weather gets more and more depressing in the coming months. So, thank you very much for listening. Please subscribe. Please like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Please share with your friends, family, and enemies. Thank you. I'm going to go to heaven now. Have a good night.
All music apart from Cherry and Secrets, Your Fire by Magdalena B was created by Seth Parlow, with a track featuring Specs, also known as an SPECKS, the music maker on SoundCloud and Instagram.